Okay, so let's get started. I got a couple of different wires here. That's good solder, some heat shrink tubing, some pins, wire cutters, wire strippers, scissors, a light, which will come in handy for certain parts of this job, a lighter. Our two heroes, of course, the LED and the light dependent resistor. So the first thing we are going to do is put some wire on these. I want two for the LDR. They can be the same color because the LDR is not polarized or doesn't have a positive and a negative. It's just like a resistor. It's just got two ends. The LED, though, of course, has a positive and a negative side, so we need to mark those because we won't be able to tell once we've got them inside their little enclosure. I'm going to leave quite a long piece of wire at one end of each piece. You'll see why when it comes to it. Just going to twist that. We only want a short one there. You'll also see why that is when we come to soldering those. Okay, so let's attach some wire. I've got a soldering iron over here, which is already, I think is it hot? Yes, it's hot. Let's get some wire onto the LDR first. Yeah, I always find this really tricky. You got to sort of get that started and then just wrap it around a few times so it sits. I don't know. This is, like I'm making a video, but this is what I do when I'm working, is I talk to myself constantly. It just sort of helps me deal with what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is put some shrink tubing on this, because once we do get them inside their little cover, there's a possibility that these, might touch, and we don't want that, because if positive touches negative, as you know, I'm just going to clip that little spike there off. As you know, the results are not great. You short out your whole, whatever it is you're doing. So let's put the positive one on this first. We just want a piece that sort of comes out to about there. I'm just going to snip that and whack that on there. Slide it right up against the LED. Okay, so there's no bare wire showing. And then just get a lighter and just shrink that to it. Just give it a good bit of heat. I don't think this damages the LED. I hope not. And just to be doubly sure, I'm going to put, you don't really have to put a second one on. You've got one on, it's enough, but I always like to be really sure. I just put a second one on, make it a different color to the red for obvious reasons. Slide that right up against the LED. This shrink tubing stuff is really easy to find. You can get it. I mean, I saw it at the local hardware store the other day in the electrician department. Or you can get it online. I'm not going to tell you where I get it from because they ain't paying me to do that yet. If this video gets really popular and they want me to, I'll mention their name. You got to be a bit mercenary. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, because I'm making this to be used on a breadboard, I'm going to put some little pins on the end of these so you can just plug them straight into the breadboard. These pins are not the best, actually. I've just got them. Again, I'm not going to tell you where I got them from because, you know, you'll find them online. There's two different sorts. These are really skinny. I don't know if you can see. They've got a really skinny sort of end on them, and they tend to be fit a little loosely into breadboards. They're okay once you get them in there. They seem to be fine, but they can just, yeah, they sort of pop out easily and stuff. And there are other little 1mm pins that are fit a bit snugger, but you know, I'm not sure of what the names of those are. Beautiful. Okay, I should have done this before. Actually, to be honest, I did do it before, but you didn't see it, so I'm going to do it again. Just make sure you've got the right LDR. I've got a multimeter here, really basic one. That's what it takes. I'm going to set it on resistance. And let's just check out the resistance of this this LDR. Yeah, so you can just put positive, negative either side. It doesn't matter. As I say, this is just a resistor that we've got here. So, okay, we've got a contact there. I know that me touching it is going to affect the reading, but that's okay. So it's a sort of a pretty dull day here. I don't have much light in here, and we're getting a reading with light of 12.913. It's going up to there like that. If I turn it towards the light, that should drop down a bit. Theoretically 11.7, that's right. If let's say I want to know whether it's going to go dark enough, I could put it against that black bit of paper there, and that's showing us a reading of 197, nearly 200. Yeah, so 200K. It's showing 300K, which is kind of almost enough, but I want something a bit deeper, and I suspect it's because there's still some light leakage. So I'm just going to hold it. You won't be able to see this, but I'm going to put it underneath the table here, which is darker. There's no light under there. I'm going to put it right under, and I'm getting up to 0.5, which is absolutely fine. So that's basically going to be enough of a range to run this as a Vactrol. All right, and if we had put more light on it, in fact, as much light as if there had been an LED like that, we would have got a lot less a reading for its lighted state. Okay, last step. We're going to put this whole thing, we're going to trap it inside a light-proof container. Okay, so you can see now why I put these shrink rubber things on the legs, because we're going to squeeze them together. This is, what is it? It's 12mm shrink tube, 4 times. I guess that means it shrinks by 4 times. I don't know. We want it to sit a fair way in, because we don't want any light to get in. So just let's measure how much we need. But we want the wires to stick out, right? So let's say we want it to be about to there. Something like that there. So not a bit of a rough measurement, but you know, that's all right. Cut that. Okay, let's slide this LDR in first. 12mm is really good for these particular size. I think these are 12mm or something. Let's put it in a fair way. We want it to go in about halfway. We can just sort of feel where it's sitting with our fingers there. It's getting close. We've still got a bit of wire out the side so we can connect it. I'm just going to check that it's flat by shining a light in there, and you can see, I guess you can see, I can't see because I'm... You can see that LDR sitting in there like that. Maybe you can put them a bit further. Yep, that's cool. And then we're going to put the LED in there, and we'll hear it hit again, so you can hear that. right up against the face of the LDR, and I just use gravity because this is sitting nicely, the LDR, but the LED obviously moves around in there. So and we'll just start applying some heat and watch it. And that is a Vactrol. And you can put that straight onto your board. Just remember, obviously there's always a resistor between power and between the power source and the LED, whether it's on that side or that side, doesn't matter. I tend to use as little resistance as possible for this because I want the brightest light. So I'm working on something at the moment that's using 5 volts. I'm just using a 2K resistor. I tested it for a while, didn't seem to bother the LED, didn't burn it out. So just make sure you connect that to positive and that to negative. I hope this has been good. If it has, yeah, shoot us a like and subscribe. Thank you.